It is my theory that one of us in the past, through dire necessity, was driven to cannibalism. The memory of that act was hammered like a nail into the mind of that man. Shrewd and brilliant, he could conceal his madness from the human eye, even from himself. But he can't conceal it from the eyes of the radio sensitivity. Every time his heart beats from mental excitement, the thermal tubes will betray him. You are all now connected with these tubes, as I am myself. But I alone know which tube is yours. Your heartbeats are being reflected before you.
Doctor, I protest.
As the heart beats faster and faster, so does that red liquid begin to pulse and rise until terror takes hold of the subject and the liquid rises to the very top of the tube. He whose tube does that is the guilty man. Here are a line of wax figures. A beautiful young girl, violently killed as she lay on a hospital bed recovering from an illness.
Oh, I'm so afraid. I'm shaking like a leaf.
Keep quiet. Get ready. Watch. You're about to see reenacted the murder of the killer's latest victim, an old scrub woman. She's coming home from work. It's late. A full moon shines down upon her. She's passing through an alleyway when suddenly a terrible figure steals out. He starts creeping towards her. As old Annie stoops to pick up a newspaper, the figure suddenly takes her throat in his powerful hand.
Somebody get my crutch! Keep it ready! Keep it ready! The lights!
Look at that tube! It's a success. The guilty man is... The guilty man is Roberts!
Roberts! Look, what's happened to him? He's been murdered.
Let me see.
What's the matter? What has happened?
Stabbed in the base of the brain. Murdered like all the other moon killer victims. Who was sitting on his left side?
I was, but I didn't see anything. I was watching the experiment.
Where's Wells? The contacts are broken. Why doesn't he come in? Take him to another room. Wells! 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 What's wrong, man?
I don't know. The lights went out. Someone called my name. I started for the laboratory, and someone struck me.
Oh, this is terrible. Easy now, let me help you.
I guess I'm all right. I'll be all right in just a moment.
Are you worried about your father?
Yes, I am. Terribly.
I wouldn't be. He's very tired. He's working under a terrific strain. He's bound to show it.
I know. But last night, after everyone went to bed, I saw my father bending over Rowett's body. I saw... Oh, it's a terrible thought.
Come on, snap out of it. Let's get dressed and we'll have breakfast. That's right. Well, but you know, your eyes are so blue. When I look into them, oh.
Put the signal button on the control table and attach the wires to the thermal tube. Yes, Doctor.
What's the meaning of all this paraphernalia? Idiotic nonsense.
These chairs are too far apart to protect us from each other.
Contacts have all been checked. We'll be ready in just a moment. Thank you, Wells.
Doctor, I still think you're making a mistake using Joanne in this experiment.
After all, gentlemen, this is my daughter's own suggestion. I have no fear for her safety. She's a sensible girl and knows what she's doing.
Gad, if she were my daughter, she wouldn't be up there on a bed, nothing but a nightgown, just to satisfy some lunatic's experiment.
Professor Duke, don't criticize Joanne for her state of undress.
This argument is irrelevant.
Doctor, you forget that last night there was a murderer at large in this room.
And the murderer is still here. I'm convinced.
It is time to get ready. Aren't you afraid, miss?
There's only one thing I'm afraid of, Otto. That's Father's health.
You are right, miss. Don't be afraid tonight. Be sure you keep your eyes closed and relax.
Is that all, Doctor?
Yes. Everything's set. Now go to the electric cabinet and do exactly as I told you. Throw on the current the moment you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Doctor, has it ever occurred to you that Wells is free to do as he pleases?
I've guarded against that also. Wells wishes to be treated the same as we are.
Synthetic flesh. Synthetic flesh.
And now you're about to witness one of the most gruesome crimes of the Moon Killer. The death of Florence Johnson. Murdered and horribly mutilated as she was lying weak and helpless on a hospital bed. It's midnight, a private room at the Arch Hospital. The nurse leaves the room for a moment. The girl is alone. When suddenly, the Moon Killer appears. He crosses softly to his victim.
The killer! The killer!
Put him up, Joan!
Wells! Otto! Wells!
You idiots! Calling for Wells? It'll do you no good. There isn't any Wells. Look, the keys. take them.
It's Wells. Wells!
Yes, it is Wells, but a new Wells. A Wells whose name will live forever in the history of science.
Oh, run, John! Run! Run! John! Get up, run! Look at his hand! Horrible!
Yes, look at it. Real hand. It's alive. It's flesh. Synthetic flesh. Living flesh from humans for my experiments. What difference did it make if a few people had to die? Their flesh taught me how to manufacture arms, legs, faces that are human. I'll make a crippled world whole again. Doctor, your name will be remembered. You've given your life, everything to science. All but one thing. And now, you're going to give even that to science. Your daughter. Oh, if only...
John! Run, run! Club him! Club him!
Are you hurt?
No, I'm not.
Yes. Lee! Help! Where's Wells? What happened to him?
Calm down. He won't ever come back. I hit him with the lamp. It was a long throw, but, you know, I used to be a first baseman in high school. You know, that old peg over to third. Take a look at him.
Are you hurt, Lee?
I'm all right. Are you okay?
Say, tell me, how in the world did you ever overpower that terrible monster?
Oh, in the third round, I found out that he was very ticklish in a certain spot.
Oh.
But I haven't found your weakness.
Don't you know?
You don't... Come here to me.